Good morning, children. Welcome back to today's online session of Class 7 English. This is your Srinivas, English teacher from DAV High School. Dear children, we have discussed the town mouse and the country mouse the very first lesson. Dear children, let us recap what we learned in the previous session. The country mouse received the town mouse at the station of the countryside. The town mouse asked the country mouse for some orange juice or lemonade, saying that he was thirsty. But the country mouse offered him coconut water. The dinner that the country mouse served the town mouse at his house consisted of the root and the sugar cane. The town mouse nibbled at the root and the sugar cane as he did not enjoy his dinner. Dear children, now let us get into the another page. So before we are getting into the another page, please try to look at the textbook carefully. So dear children, please put your finger below the line. Let us start. On the ground, asked the town mouse, "Do I have to sleep on the ground?" "Yes, this is how we sleep in the country," his cousin answered. Dear children, the town mouse was unable to sleep on the ground because the town mouse was habituated to sleep in the kitchen cupboard, but here in countryside he was unable to sleep because as the town mouse lay down on the ground, cold ground, he suddenly thought of something. "Cousin," he called out. "Yes, what is it?" the country mouse asked. "Why is it so quiet here? Where are all the cars and lorries? Where are the radios and the televisions? Where are all the lights?" See here, dear children, the town mouse was unable to lay down or sleep on the hard and cold ground. Immediately he called the country mouse. Why? Why it is so? What is it? What is this a pathetic condition? Here the town mouse was unable to bear, unable to sleep properly as he slept in the town side. Dear children, and also here he asked that why is it so quiet here? Why is it so pleasant? Where are the lorries, cars, tram cars, buses, and where are the traffic? Where are the lights? Why don't we find radios and televisions? Where are all these things? So immediately the town mouse asked in this way. Then here the country mouse replied that this is how it is in the country. His cousin replied, "It is always quiet in the country. Sometimes it is quieter than today. My grandfather says that our village is the quietest among all the villages in our district." "Oh, is it? The country is a strange place," said the town mouse. But he said to himself, "I don't think I like this place." See here. So immediately here the country mouse replied that this is all about countryside. The country mouse replied, "Yes, it is the wonderful and beautiful, pleasant place what we are having." Dear children, so try to understand the beauty, the scenic beauty of the countryside. And also here his grandfather also said that our village, their village is the quietest among all the villages in our district. Dear children, you can understand that here this is a superlative adjective. Quietest, quietier, quietier, quietest. Quite positive adjective, comparative adjective quietier, superlative adjective quietest. Here the plus est, the quietest. This is superlative degree. My grandfather says that our village is the quietest among all the villages in our district. Dear children, we will come to know what is positive adjective, what is comparative adjective, what is superlative adjective after completion of lesson. See children, here the town mouse got bored by sleeping in the countryside. Dear children, and also here he said to himself, "I don't think I like this place," which means here the town mouse was not at all interested. The town mouse didn't like the place where he visited countryside. Next morning, the town mouse found that there was no breakfast ready. His cousin told him that they had to go to the nearby farm in search of food. We are sure to find something there, he said. A nice piece of root or tender bit of sugar cane. Yes, actually, here in town side, the town mouse used to find different variety of food items in the town side. But here in countryside, he didn't find any sort of breakfast. Then here the country mouse offered him only what are those? Only the root items, raw root, sugar cane, and root. But the town was not at all interested to have such raw items. Right. But the town mouse had enough. Thank you, cousin, he said. But I think I will catch the next train home. I have suddenly remembered that I have forgotten something. See, children, dear children, by looking at these sentences, we can understand that the town mouse got bored, and also here he didn't want to stay for anymore. He wanted to go back to his hometown. Then he said that here, okay, my dear country mouse, I wanted to go back to my native place. Then he started his journey the next day. Okay, now then he returned to his hometown, and also here the country mouse recollected. So what he wrote a letter to town mouse. Earlier, the country mouse wrote a letter to the town mouse. What did he wrote? Let us see. A few days later, the country mouse wrote to his cousin, the town mouse. Here is the letter. Dear children, so how like the town mouse wrote a letter to country mouse, in the similar manner, the country mouse also wrote a letter to the town mouse to visit a few days in the town side. He also wanted to visit town side. So he wrote a letter like this: Mouse Hole, Mouse Country, 22nd March 2012. My dear cousin, I hope you are well. I am worried about you. I would like to visit you and make sure you are all right. With love. Your cousin, Country Mouse. 2. Town Mouse, Kitchen Cupboard, Mouse Town. So this is all about a letter which was written by country mouse to town mouse. Why did he write a letter to town mouse? Okay, now, dear children, the country mouse also interested to visit town side. So that's why he also wrote a letter. See here, dear children, let us move on to the another page. Please try to look at the textbook carefully. Yes. The town mouse received the letter and read it. Since he was in a hurry, he sent a telegram to the country mouse. Here is his telegram. So, my dear children, here the town mouse also received a letter from countryside. So, here the town mouse also sent an invitation to the country mouse. Yes, how did he write here? What did he write? He wrote like this: overjoyed. Come soon, town mouse. Here he also sent an invitation to the country mouse to visit the town side. Dear children, all of you look at the textbook carefully. Right. A few days later, the country mouse arrived in the town. He was surprised by the noise and the lights. See here, with the invitation of the town mouse, country mouse also came to the town side. Here, the town mouse went to the railway station, and the town mouse received the country mouse in the town mouse station. Then, when he arrived town side, then the country mouse felt that it was heavy noise. The traffic was heavy. It is all about full of traffic. Okay, now wherever he see, he found Okay, different types of tram cars, buses, lorries, cars, and motor vehicles. He asked like this: why are there lights? Why are there lights even in the midnight or in the middle of the night? He asked. Why are there lights even in the middle of the night? He asked. This is the town, his cousin replied. Here there are lights even in the middle of the day. Dear children, see here. So the situation, the see here, the town mouse replied everything. Dear children, so, if you look at the town side, the lights which were put on the whole day as well as the whole night. Okay, now, but in countryside we do not find such scenario, but the town side it is quite different. The lights which are electrified with the beautiful colors. Okay, now it can put on the whole day as well as the whole night. Let us move on to the another line. And what is this dreadful noise that never stops? Asked the country mouse. Country mouse asked, what is this continuous noise? Dreadful. What is this dangerous noise? I did not listen such unbearable noise. That is the traffic, the town mouse replied. That is the noise made by the buses, lorries, cars, and aeroplanes. The town mouse replied that it is all about traffic. Understand? So the noise usually made by the different types of tram cars, buses, lorries, cars, motor vehicles, it is completely filled with full of noises. Dear children, when we visit a town side we can find those noises, and also here all the roads are filled with traffic, right? But the country mouse did not like it at all. All this noise has made my headache. He said, could I have some water to drink? See here. So by looking at this sentence, we can understand that here the country mouse did not like the town side, because here it was a heavy noise. He was unable to sleep during night time. So that's why he was not interested to have those noises. Then immediately here he asked water to drink. Why only water? Said the town mouse. Look at what there is for you. Ice cold lemonade, orange juice. Which one do you want? Actually, here in town side, we can find different types of ice cold water, cool water. But in countryside, we do not find those. In countryside, they used to get only coconut water. Country mouse habituated to have coconut water. But here, what did she offer? The town mouse offered lemonade and orange juice. Why only water? Said the town mouse. Look at what there is for you. Ice cold lemonade, orange juice. Which one do you want? Just some water, answered the country mouse. Some water and a little bit of food. Here, what did the country mouse ask? Here, the country mouse asked only water. I didn't want to take lemonade or orange juice. Here, what did he want? He wanted to have only some water, and also here a little bit of food. Okay, in the form of breakfast. Yes, I have plenty of food, cousin, said the town mouse proudly. You can eat as much as you like. Sure enough, the house of the town mouse at the back of the kitchen cupboard was full of most delicious food. There was bread and jam, different kinds of fruits, slabs of chocolate, and a huge piece of lovely cheese. Dear children, eat, cousin, eat, said the town mouse. But just then there was a sound like a thunder, and the town mouse shouted, run, cousin, run, run. See here. So the country mouse asked breakfast. Dear cousin, please provide me breakfast. Then immediately the town mouse offered a variety of food items like what are those food items? Bread, jam, and different kinds of fruits, slabs of chocolates, and a huge piece of lovely cheese. These are all food items which was provided by town mouse to the country mouse. And also here the town mouse used to stay in the, here you can find where here the house of the town mouse at the back of a kitchen cupboard was full of most delicious food. Actually here the mouses usually carry all the things from the kitchen, they store in the kitchen cupboard. Now see here the very last line, it tells that now, okay, my dear cousin, let us run, run, run. Why did she shout? Because the owner of the house has entered. As soon as the owner of the house entered, then they got afraid. They wanted to settle down their things. So that's why here he asked, he shouted, okay, now run, cousin, run. The town mouse, yes, the town mouse pushed the country mouse out through a hole in the back of the cupboard. The country mouse felt his heart being very fast. But what is it? He asked. Shh, whispered the town mouse. Wait. So why did she say like that here? Because here the owner of the house entered the house. So that's why here immediately he pushed the country mouse out through a hole in the back of the kitchen cupboard. The country mouse felt its heart, and also here he was beating very fast. So that's why here the country mouse was not at all interested. He was also got bored. So dear children, so this is all about town mouse and country mouse. So let us see the rest of the lesson we will discuss next coming session. So dear children, once again you have to go through the lesson and underline unfamiliar words, and please note down in your classwork. Thank you, one and all.